Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Gscales back with another tier list video. In today's video, we're going to be doing Nickelodeon shows. All the Nickelodeon shows from my generation, at least. I put all the ones that aren't from mine and never watched already, just because they're not from when I grew up and I don't recognize some of them as well. But without further ado, let's get started. To start things off with Big Time Rush, this is automatically an S tier show. This is another one of those shows that I make a statement to go watch every day. And the music from the show was really good as well. Big Time Rush is one of those shows that's like TV drama, but it's like clean TV drama. And for my age, that was like the perfect thing to watch, really. And the humor wasn't too corny as well. Kids nowadays would probably watch Big Time Rush and find it really cringe, just because the humor is a little bit different. But for our age group, when we grew up with Big Time Rush, it was really good. I also forgot to mention I'm mixing like both cartoons and IRL shows in this, just because I did the same thing with Disney shows. But next up, we got Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom was like a C tier show. I didn't watch it too much. It was sort of like one of those filler shows that I watched in between the shows that I actually wanted to watch. But still, it wasn't that bad. Next up, we got Drake and Josh. Drake and Josh is an S tier show for sure. It's another one of those shows that I make a statement to go watch, just because you can relate to a lot of things in the show, especially if you have siblings, or if you can relate to either Drake or Josh. It made for a really funny show. Even though the humor's corny, it still was good for our age group. And it's cool seeing like Drake and Josh older now, especially with Josh and David Dobrik's videos. It's just something you never expect when you grew up watching them. And also a lot of memes came out of Drake and Josh, which is pretty funny. But yeah, definitely S tier show. Moving on to iCarly. iCarly is another S tier show. If you didn't watch iCarly, I truly feel bad, just because at that time when we were growing up, iCarly was like an emotional roller coaster all the time. It was also one of those shows where the humor got to every age group, even though it was made for like teenagers to watch. Especially with Spencer, his sense of humor is really funny, because everybody likes stupid sense of humor, because a lot of people like stupid sense of humor. So it didn't matter how old you were, you thought Spencer was really funny. Same with Gibby, also just a bunch of stupid sense of humor. But definitely one of those shows that I went out to watch like every day, if not every other day. So definitely S tier show for sure. Next show that we have is Jimmy Neutron. Jimmy Neutron's like a D tier show. Actually, I'm gonna swap Jimmy Neutron with Danny Phantom. I'm gonna put Jimmy Neutron at C and Danny Phantom at D, just because I watched Jimmy Neutron a little bit more and liked it a little bit more. Jimmy Neutron had like a really niche audience, just because if you didn't grow up watching it, you couldn't really get into it, just because from the outside in, looking at the show, it wasn't really a compelling show if you were watching other good shows at the time. But once you watched it, you actually realize that's a good show. Again, another filler show in between shows I wanted to watch, but not something I'd turn off for sure. For that reason, I'm gonna put it in C tier for now. Even though it's C tier, even though this tier list goes from S to F, all these shows are really good. None of these shows are bad in any means. It's just personal preference. Next show we have is Power Rangers. Power Rangers I'm going to put in C as well, just because I didn't watch it too much, but it was a really good show when I did watch it. Looking back at it, it was pretty low effort in terms of what they could have did with Power Rangers, but at the time it was like really cool to watch, just because it was the only like childhood action show that wasn't like gory. So it was the only available action show to like actually watch at the time. But yeah, for that reason I'm going to put it in C just for now. Rugrats I'm going to put in B. Rugrats is one of those shows that you either put in S or you either put in like B or lower, just because some people have like a special place in their heart for Rugrats. But I didn't watch it that much growing up, even though it was a really good show. When I did watch it, it was really funny, and I'd watch Rugrats over Jimmy Neutron, Power Rangers, and Danny Phantoms. So for that reason, I'm just gonna put it in B for now. Next show we have is Sam and Cat. Sam and Cat I'm gonna put in B, but I'm gonna put it ahead of Rugrats because it's like a high B, low A for me. Sam and Cat was pretty much like a lower effort iCarly, just because it was made after Victorious and iCarly, and like another way to just pander to the audience for like a special extension of the two shows kind of thing. And Sam and Cat, their like personalities were like total opposite, which made for a really good dynamic on the show as well. And it was also cool when old characters from iCarly and Victorious would like feature on the show, because then it would just bring you that like nostalgia. But for that reason, I'm gonna put it like a high B for now. Next up we have Fairly Oddparents. Fairly Oddparents is like high A, low S, just because Fairly Oddparents is a goated show. That's a show I'd always watch before going to school and after school, no matter what. If you did watch Fairly Oddparents, you definitely put it at least in S or A. You didn't really put it below that, just because it was one of those shows you always wanted to watch. And also as a kid, you wish you had like magical powers to ask for anything as well. But put into a show like Fairly Oddparents, it sort of taught you life lessons that, looking back on it now, teaches like even if you have everything, it doesn't mean you're gonna be happy kind of thing, which is a good life lesson to actually grow up with. even if you didn't catch that watching it, it sort of like got put into the back of your mind when they teach like Timmy in the show to not take things for granted. Sort of like teaches you as this at the same time. But yeah, definitely like a high A, low S tier show. Next up we got SpongeBob. SpongeBob's like first on my list, like high S tier. This just because SpongeBob has like a special place in my heart, just because it is a really good show. The humor is like so stupid to a point where it's just amazing, but at the same time like SpongeBob was crafted like so perfectly to the point where I could go watch it like at this age and still enjoy an episode of SpongeBob. I've definitely had it on like in the past while doing homework, just because like hearing SpongeBob in the background is like comforting for me. But yeah, definitely like a high S tier show for me. Next up we got Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles, again, like a B tier show. I'm gonna put it above Rugrats but below Sam and Cat, just because it was like an okay show for me. I'd watch it like in between shows I wanted to watch, just like the others, but I definitely enjoyed it a lot more than the shows that are below it. Nothing too crazy, but at the same time I know a lot of people have like a special place with that show in their heart as well. But for that reason I'm just gonna put it in like mid B tier for now. Next up we got Victorious. Victorious is like an A show as well. I'm gonna put it above Sam and Cat just because I think it's like a mid to low A show, definitely lower than Fairly Oddparents, but I definitely enjoyed like Big Time Rush, Drake and Josh, and iCarly way more than Victorious, mainly because I started watching Victorious like a little bit after I started watching the rest of these shows. But definitely a show I binge watched like from start to finish, and everybody had a crush on Ariana, let's be real. But yeah, for that reason I'm gonna put it in like a mid to low A tier for now. Next show we got Zoe 101. Zoe 101 I'm gonna put like just below Sam and Cat, but again like a high B, low A tier kind of show. I might move Sam and Cat up into A and put Zoe 101 at like high B, just because I'd watch Sam and Cat over Zoe 101, but I'd still watch Zoe 101 as like a consistent show. It was like one of the first shows I ever watched. By all means it was an amazing show, but like some shows just hit more than others, but it definitely was a really fun show to watch. For that reason I'm gonna put it at like a high B, low A for now. Last show on our list is Back at the Barnyards. I'm gonna put that like a low B, a high C kind of ranking, just because it was a really funny stupid show. It was one of those shows that you didn't really like ask to watch. It sort of just came on and you watched it and then you questioned like what happened afterwards. Back at the Barnyards pretty much fits that profile to a T, but definitely a really funny show. For that reason I'm gonna put it like a low B, high C tier. Also I'm gonna move Zoe 101 to like a low A, high B, just because I would watch it over the rest of these shows, and it also puts it in like the top 8 shows at the top, like right here. These are like my most watched top 8 shows in Nickelodeon by far, so I'm just gonna give Zoe 101 the credit where credit's due. But yeah, this is my Nickelodeon show tier list. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's been your boy Gscales, and peace out.